everyone, TNT here. Alright, so we're back out working on the 1990 CR125 project. Today I'm going to be powder coating this spring. I got a little bit of sandblasting left to do. It looks like I might have had a little bit of moisture in my box when I left it in there a week ago. Picked up a little bit of surface rust on the outside, so we'll get that cleaned up, as well as a little bit of paint that I got left on it. On top of that, I was able to go out and pick up some, gloss and semi-gloss black paint. So we're going to be painting up the foot pegs and the crossbar for the handlebars. I think that's about it for what needs painting and sandblasting. After that, it's just a little bit more cleaning on some of the parts and assembly. I may even get into doing some of the smaller parts on the frame today. I'm not sure. But if not, it'll definitely be tomorrow. All right, let's get at it. Picked myself up a new shop vac. I got this huge shop vac that I actually won for free off a bidding site, and I forgot to pull my filter off the back of my box. I just about sucked my glass right into the box there. All right, let's see if that's better. Pull that filter out. Wow, that thing sucks. I may not be able to use my vacuum for this. I wasn't aware that it was going to be pulling that hard. Let's try this instead. That's not too bad. Let's try that. Let's have a look at that. Got that little bit of paint, I think. And that's it. So we just got to clean it up, set up the powder coating equipment, and paint this up a nice pretty blue. Alright then, well, I think that pretty much does it for the sandblasting. She looks good. There's a couple little spots on it that I don't think need to be blasted. They just need to be cleaned. Oh, wait a minute. I do have one little spot of paint over here. Let's see if I can just scrape that off. I doubt it. Well, I think I'm going to have to put it back in for a second just to get that one spot. And then I got an inside spot up here I want to get. Now I'm just going to clean everything up again that I'm going to powder coat, because I put it back in plastic baggies and stuff, and I'm just concerned that it might have got some contaminants on it. So let's get the spring all cleaned up here. Let her sit in there for about 20 minutes, then we'll take it out, we'll acetone it again, put it back in for 20 minutes, and then she's out ready for powder coat. Alright, we got her all cleaned up. I hung a tarp up here to try and block the breeze a little bit because it was getting pretty windy in here again. Well, there we go. Spring is in. Man, you kind of waste a lot of powder when you do powder coating. I never realized how much and how difficult it is. You wind up having to overspray a lot in order to make sure that you get full coverage. So I'm going to get the next rack prepped up for the crossbar, for the handlebars, and the foot pegs. And then I'm seriously considering repainting those hubs. I'm pretty sure I can paint over top. I just need to heat them up in the oven before I do it. And there should not be any issues. I want to go with the semi-gloss. I'm finding the satin to be just a little bit too dull. So we'll try it out and see what happens. If it doesn't work out, then I'll just have to sandblast them again and then spray them with semi-gloss. Alright, so while I was moving around a bit here on my bricks, the shock spring fell off one side of the rack. Gotta be careful taking it out of here now that I don't drop it on the ground. I think it's gonna be fine. It had been in there for probably about 5 minutes baking anyway, so hopefully this is going to be okay. Just trying to get it out of here could be a bit of a challenge. Just gonna reach inside. See what I can do here. The rack is really hot. Okay. Got it hanging there. We're going to get the next set into heat. Definitely have to get a different pair of gloves. These leather welding gloves are not good for heat. So I must say the spring looks really good. I'll have to have a look at the bottom where it dropped in the oven here. Let's have a look here and see if it did anything to it. Yeah, right there, there's just a little tiny nick. I'm not that worried about it. That part there is pretty much fully enclosed. I'll make sure that I spray a little clear coat right there just to protect that spot from any risk of rusting, but it looks good. Gosh, that powder coat lays flat. I mean, that was sandblasted with crushed glass. It had a bit of texture to it after I was done, and that powder coat looks really good. And the color, I think, is pretty close. I can see a couple of spots where I wasn't able to get the powder coat in there, where the spring got tight on both ends, but the majority of that spring is fully powder coated. Let it cool off for about 20 minutes while the other parts are heating up, and she'll be good to hang up somewhere else to cool off for the rest of the time. All right, the last batch is in for powder coating. Gosh, those foot pegs came out amazing. That is incredible. I just can't get over powder coat. You know, I get my frames powder coated by other people because I don't have an oven that size, and you know, from the most recent videos, you know that this is my first time doing this, and I'm just absolutely amazed by how this stuff turns out. I think I'm even more thrilled with how it looks than the frames that I've gotten powder coated. I feel that maybe I'm doing a better job at prep maybe than they are. Now hopefully the longevity is as good, but these just look incredible. I mean, they look brand new. It's nuts how well that powder coat lays down. Fantastic. Okay, so I just removed the hubs and the other parts of the crossbar from the oven, and I must say I am much happier with this color. You know, I was gonna live with the satin, and after coating the foot pegs, I said to myself, no, definitely not. And I am so glad that I decided to coat these with semi-gloss, because that is the perfect color. Now, when it was baking in there, I took a little peek and I was a little bit concerned. I thought, well, pardon me, not these ones, the foot pegs. I was a little bit concerned that it was not gloss enough, but after getting them out and looking at the foot pegs, I decided that I was definitely going to coat these hubs with semi-gloss, and that was the perfect decision. These look fantastic. I'm gonna let these cool down, then I'll take them off the rack and have another look, but gosh, they look so good. Powder coating is the way to go for sure. So there you go, that looks 100% better than the satin black that was on there before. Definitely going to be doing all of my own powder coating from now on, aside from the frames, and I'm still going to see if I can get somebody to build a large oven that they can keep where they live, and then I'll just pay them to be able to powder coat my own frames as well, because I just love the way that this turned out.